I swore I was never going to do another Ravensburger escape puzzle again after my experience with the last one, which I never completed because it was missing pieces. And I emailed Ravensburger, told them I was doing a video review of the puzzle, and they never even bothered to respond to me. It was very disappointing. So maybe I'll have a little bit more luck with this one. I'm not sure, but I got this in a puzzle exchange, which is the only reason I'm putting one together. So as you can see, it's already opened. Wow, these pieces are really large. Anyway, I traded my CSI mystery puzzle for this. So we're going to give it a shot and hopefully have a little bit of fun with it. It looks like it is meant for many different languages. If you're not familiar with these puzzles, the image on the box isn't exactly the image that we're going to end up putting together. And I'm not going to look too closely at this because I don't like to know what it looks like anyway. I find it more fun to put the puzzle together without knowing what the image will be. This is, by the way, a 3 out of 5 difficulty. I guess both with putting the puzzle together and with solving the mystery. Let me go ahead and read the story to you as we sort through these puzzle pieces. Desolated city, bright light, bright sunlight, so bright, so incredibly bright. You had no idea how bright the sun really is. You had always read about it in history books, about how wonderfully bright and warm it shines, but you never could have imagined how beautiful it actually is. For the first time in your life, you are standing on the Earth's surface and can hardly believe your eyes. The colors, the vastness, and the fantastic brightness. All you had ever known were cramped rooms and hallways indoors that were only dimly lit. There had often been no light at all for days on end, and you had to find your way in total darkness. But you had gotten used to it after all. You had never known anything else. You had spent your entire life far beneath the Earth's surface in a huge building, together with thousands of other people. That was where you grew up, went to school, and finally began an apprenticeship. And that was how you were ultimately chosen to take on this mission. No one really remembers what actually happened back then, but the supercomputer had predicted a catastrophe that would wipe out life on Earth's surface and make it uninhabitable for many years, which is why a gigantic building had been built deep beneath the Earth's surface so that part of mankind would survive. The building had been hermetically sealed off and locked. It had not been possible to open it any earlier. The computer had calculated that it is from this day on that life on the surface is once again possible and therefore unlocked the doors. And yet the people living underground are extremely afraid to go to the surface. It was due to your exceptional intellectual capacity, your instinct for the unknown, and your curiosity that you were selected to be the first person to return to the surface. Your mission is now to find evidence that will convince everyone else to join you in starting a new life together on Earth, on your Earth. But it all starts with a mystery. What might convince the others? And then... So here we go. It took me about 20 minutes to get the pieces sorted. I wasn't able to get all of the pieces into trays because they are simply so large. You can't fit many in here. Not that I have any idea how many puzzle pieces there are. It doesn't say on the box or the instructions, at least not that I can find. So the only way we're going to know is once we put the border together, we'll be able to count how many pieces we're going to be assembling here. Pieces themselves, aside from being enormous, don't have a whole lot of patterns. There are a few words here and there that might make it a little easier to put together. But it's a lot of greenery that might be difficult. A lot of blue. I hope there's not a lot of trial and error. But let's find out. So I'm going to put away these pieces, shift my excess unsorted pieces off to the side, and let's get this border put together. Here we have the completed border. It was not easy to put together. It took me about half an hour because most of these pieces are dark and they're very reflective, so it's hard to see. And this is one of those puzzles where all of these pieces could fit into these pieces. So if you don't get the pattern right, you're going to have a lot of false fits. We do see there are a lot of numbers along the border, and I think that's going to help us with our puzzle solving. But in terms of clues, I'm not sure what we're going to see just yet. We do have a cinema here, but most of the border is floral. There are some vines and flowers, and then, of course, the bit of sky that we just saw at the top, including some birds. But let's go ahead and put a bit more of the puzzle together and see if we can find more clues. 1 hour in, and the center part of the puzzle is taking shape. This puzzle's coming together so quickly, I can't believe it, but the pieces are huge. We do have some clues here. It looks like we've got a wild animal. I'm not sure that's really a clue, but I guess it is indication that life is returning to the earth. We have some birds, several birds. We've got a couple of words taking shape. We've got bloom, the end is near, some others I haven't quite finished yet. And it looks like we did have some false fits already. I had to take apart a bit of the corner here to actually make it work. So I'm not sure where we've gone wrong. We'll maybe figure it out in the next hour. Let's see. 1 more hour in, and we've made quite a bit of progress. We do have the skyline finished. I did manage to actually get the correct order of the border there. Of course, we still have the bird on the lamppost, the deer here front and center next to an old car. Not sure what this is. It kind of looks like a crashed airplane, but I guess we'll find out. We have Bloom Fashion on a billboard. The end is near, overlooked by this little fox here in the corner. Other than that, we do have a lot of flowers, it looks like, blooming, so I don't know if that is related to the Bloom Fashion, but we will find out in the next hour. After another hour, I still have 1 tray of pieces left, but we are getting pretty close to done. Got another car appearing here off on the side, but more importantly, I'm starting to see some codes. I think I already know that means A equals 1, B equals 2, or vice versa, and so forth. We have a puzzle over here. I'm sure these letters that are underlined mean something, but we will find this out later as soon as we are finished. And we are done. This took me about 15 more minutes to finish. Went by so quickly, and part of that is because there are only 368 pieces in this puzzle. I thought that might be the puzzle number, but it might be as well, but it's also the amount of puzzle pieces on here, which was the only indication I could find of how many pieces there were. So maybe I just did not know what that meant. I'm really surprised I never have seen a puzzle that is this big with such large pieces, but that's not what we're here for. Again, there are 6 mystery puzzles that we need to solve to help us in our mission, which is to find evidence that will convince everyone to join you in starting a new life together on Earth, on your Earth. So I apologize if it's a little dark to see. This puzzle is so reflective. When I move the lighting around, it causes so much glare. So let me put that out of the way a little bit. Hopefully you can see enough to help me solve some of these puzzles. Let's take a look around and see what we can find. Now, as I was putting it together, obviously I found, I think, what most of the puzzles are. We have up here 3 movie posters, and then we have on the side some sort of like weird notations. In general, we are looking for 3-digit numbers, which are on the board. And that's another thing, is like one of the reasons these puzzle pieces were hard to fit together is because they're meant to be combined in different ways. Well, obviously not that one. So when we're looking for the solution, we're going to put these pieces together and find a different image. But which pieces are they? We're looking for 3-digit numbers, and here is obviously something that's going to help indicate that. First, I thought it might be something to do with the names, but it's not. This one says the king, this one's the bearer, this one's chi. So it also has symbols in the upper corner. So I don't know if you can see that very well. It looks something like this. And then if we match yellow to yellow, there's a symbol that looks like an arch. So if we were to combine these, I think that is going to be a 6. This one looks like that, and this kind of combines them like that. So is that a 3? No, I don't think it's a 3. I think it's meant to be an 8. I think that actually connects. So 6, 8, and this one looks pretty easy. So we have that, and a little slash to connect them. So that's 2. 682. There's a 680 that we were just seeing, but let's see if we can find a 682 right here. So we have our 682 puzzle piece. I know it's going to be hard to see, so we are going to put that off on the side. So easy puzzle. We also have here on the supports for what I thought at first was a plane, but it's obviously like some sort of train. We have A, B, and C, and there's red numbers. This one says 1, 2, 3. So obviously A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, etc. And on the other beam over here, we have red underlines. We have a T, a D, and an E. So T, D, E. Whoops, that wasn't a T. That was an H. We have H, D, E. So if we count the numbers to H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, that's 8. 8, A, B, C, D is 4, and E would be 5. So we have 845. I already see it here off on the corner. And now we're going to see, do these puzzle pieces go together? It clearly does. It already looks like it is forming some sort of flower, which is one of my complaints about this puzzle. I mean, it's already kind of obvious if this is a flower. We're going to be looking for the other parts of the flower. We're looking for border pieces that are white, but let's see if we can actually solve the puzzle rather than just come up with the solution. All right, so again, we have a series of 3 here. That's going to be indicating the 3 numbers we're looking for. This is pointing at the spire or the antenna or whatever. So what are the numbers corresponding to the antennas for the buildings? We're going to go with the square building, the sort of flat building, and then the round building. And if we look up at the buildings, so the square building, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up, the flat building appears to only have the 1. I think I was mistaken looking at this. I just noticed it actually has 2. So there's 1 in the back there. And then the rounded building only has the 1. 521. Do we have a 521? It's this corner piece down here. This might be, I'm guessing, this corner, because it looks like we maybe have a flower stem here. It could be this corner too. No, it doesn't quite line up there. So I'm guessing it looks like that. So next up on the cars, we have numbers. So there are 3 cars, again, 3 numbers. Starting here, we have 875. This one says minus 239, minus 184, 452. And look what we've got here, a 452, which is clearly, again, part of the flower. And our flower is taking shape, but we're still missing 2 pieces. And this is where it's getting complicated. So the other 3 patterns here on the train, we have a 1, a 2, and a dot, 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 Roman numerals. And I don't know what that could be referring to. So we're going to come back to that. We also have 3 arrows. So there's a sign here with an arrow pointing in one direction. We have an arrow here on the bridge. And we have another arrow here on this support. At first I thought it was pointing toward the puzzles, but this one doesn't point toward a puzzle. I mean, it could be like if we were looking at a clock where it would be pointing, so that might be like an 8. This would also be an 8. This would be like a 7. So do we have any combinations of 8, 8, and 7? We have a 7, 7, and an 8. Don't think this fits our puzzle, but let's just see. I mean, the pattern doesn't line up here, so I don't think that's right. So I am at a loss. The good news is we can scan this for a hint. Take a closer look at the 3 arrows in the picture. Yeah, we got that. They all point to a common point. Okay. I guess they're all pointing to this corner, which makes sense. So I'm guessing it's 913. But that can't be right. It doesn't fit the puzzle. We were wrong. We aren't looking for a numbered piece. It's pointing at part of the plant. So we have this edge piece here. And there we go. We've got our other leaf. All right, let's take another clue for our train image. Take a closer look at the windows of the train. I mean, I suppose that this kind of looks like that. Can you find the same cracks in one of the buildings? This broken window looks just like that broken window. And I guess this crack is that. And this is that. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3. But are we supposed to take one of these? Because this covers a couple of different pieces here. The next clue reads, find the matching window of the train. Position reveals the number. The windows of the train are broken. The building behind the train has 3 windows with cracks in the same shape. The 3 broken windows of the building have to be matched up with the train. The first window of the building matches the 3rd window of the train. The second window of the building matches the 2nd window of the train. The 3rd window of the building matches the 8th window of the train. So the first broken window, it matches this, which is the 3rd train window. The second one matches this, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was wrong because this has a bigger crack. So this actually matches this. It's 2. So it's 3, 2, and then the 3rd one matches this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There is no way I would have figured that out at all. And 328 is, of course, the other part of the flower, the obvious piece I should have looked for to begin with, so I think I could have figured that out. So here we have our item that we're going to take and convince the townfolk that the world is once again safe. Again, I think I would have had a better time trying to solve it if I didn't realize we didn't have to look for numbers for every clue. The one that was just the arrows pointing at it, I mean, that threw me. I just realized we never looked at the solution. So let's go ahead and take a look now. And here we have our items. I think now it shows exactly what we were looking for with the numbers of the puzzle pieces, but no real explanation again how they came. So they show the puzzle pieces and the numbers. They never really showed how you were going to find that corner piece. So who knows? Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. I would like to point out, now that I know how these puzzles work, I will give another one a shot. I know they have a lot of horror or Halloweenish sort of themes with vampires and whatnot, I remember seeing. So I'll take a look, find us a good one to explore in a future video. If you want to see that, make sure that you stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the future. Till then, take care everyone, and happy puzzling.